What's up, world? It's your boy Ty.
What's up, everybody? It is your boy coming back at you one more time. This is your boy Cool Ty coming at you from the comic book hit list. Today, we have another great interview with you. We have Mr. Ray Anthony Height. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Ray Anthony Height. He known for Marvel Comics, known for Lion Forge, and known for Star Wars. And we're even going to get into talking about his own creator project, Midnight Tiger. We're going to get to that through this whole interview. So we hope everybody please stay with us. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. Mr. Ray Height, how are you doing today, my man?
I'm doing good, man. Just I think when you hit me up, I was on my way back from physical therapy. I was like, your life is crazy, man, because you're just back to back to back. Like you got stuff going on every second, every second. So no,
Um,
that's
uh,
what it is, but I'm happy to do it.
yeah, thank you, man. I'm trying. So, I this is the summertime for me. So it's the time for me to get in these interviews before the school year starts back so I can get them in and get it out and get as many as I can. But yeah, man, I stay pretty busy. I got a kids book coming out, so you're probably seeing that pop up on my
Hey,
Facebook page. So I'm putting out the art page.
congrats.
A really good artist. You probably know him, Willie Corday Jr. Um,
Mm,
he did some stuff
I've seen
for
that work.
yeah, what is it? Black Box Comp? No, Black Box or Black Mass Comics cover art. He's doing the digital coloring. Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Batman artist Chris Marinan did the pencils, and then I just found
Nice.
another artist who's going to be doing the next kids book. So, and I got a whole lot of stuff. Man, I got some comic book stuff I want to get moving on as well. But my kids book stuff that's moving quickly, and that's kind of where
That's
it is
good.
right now. So I'm trying to stay busy, man.
Stay on the grind. Keep it going.
I feel you. How about yourself? What you been up to? What's been keeping your attention all this time?
Oh, man, just making sure that I can get out Midnight Tiger on a regular basis because consistency is everything.
Yeah.
And it's been, on a break for a long time since I spent a lot of time working on Marvel projects, Star Wars, and the last thing I worked on was some DC stuff. So it's that, and then building my company, my little publishing company, Studio Sky Tiger LLC, where we produce my wife's book, WTF Mama, which
Mm,
is a comedy, which is kind of like, you know, Boondocks meets Hot in Cleveland meets the Golden Girls kind of thing. It's,
okay.
it's it's crazy funny, and a lot of the stories, actually, yeah, most of the stories are true, at least the opening stories, and then
Right.
we'll be expanding. And it kind of, we just produced the third book, so that's kind of being held at the printer right now. But we
Gotcha.
got 3 books in, and we've only been working on her book not quite 8 months.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're cranking. So it's
You guys
that.
are you
It's
guys are cooking along, huh?
we're doing it. We're doing it. I mean, it landed very well. We've had a couple of shows where the stock that we brought sold out. So now we had to print more, so we could sell more.
There you go.
And then now with the Midnight Tiger hardcover through CEX Publishing, that just came out. So we'll have those books too. So things are moving along. You know.
That's good. That's good. So for everybody that doesn't know, because you were new for me, and I looked through my collection what I had, and I did have some of your Marvel stuff. I did not
Hey,
have
all
do
right.
not have Midnight Tiger yet, but don't fret, man. I'm gonna get me some definitely some signed copies.
You
So for
got to get that. Yes.
everybody out there that may not know you, let's give them an introduction of who you are, and let's talk about your first jump into this medium of comic books.
Okay. So let's go backwards. So I've always been interested in illustrating. Mostly, my first love was animation, and I love cartoons. I definitely grew up. I'm a child of the '80s, man.
Right,
Born
right.
born in the mid '70s, child of the '80s. Came of
Yeah.
age with the Thundercats and the
Oh
Silverhawks and GI
man.
Joe, and
Yes, sir.
all of that kind of stuff. So animation was a
Ultron,
big deal.
Silverhawks.
Oh, right, right. Just drop it. Keep dropping them. My favorite of the time was the Bionic Six. That was like my jam, and to this day, it is still like the gift that keeps on giving, as far as I'm concerned.
Got it.
But
Got it.
my cousin, you know, he was a big artist when I was growing up in our family. He was older than me. I think when I was in elementary school, he was in high school. So, but he was doing all kinds of art. Now, I was watching the 1960s version of remember the Spider-Man cartoon where they got the famous song, opening song, and it was
Yeah,
basically
yeah,
limited animation taken from the comics.
right.
I grew up on that, right?
Gotcha.
So that's the deal. And then when my cousin was like, Spider-Man is a comic book, and I was like, what? So I'm a
Fill
kid,
your brain.
right? And then it's Marvel Comics Group. It's not that I didn't realize that the title when it came out, Marvel Comics Group was a thing, but I'm thinking it's the animation part. So anyway, he introduced me to some comics. I would see comics there and here and there, but I was never like in it until I was about 10 when he dropped a stack of comics on me. He made sure I gave them back though. He
Right.
never left the house, but I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was hooked, man. So, that was a thing. And fast forward to years later, 19, me and a group of my friends in Compton, we I mean, growing up at that certain age group, it's black nerds, right? Like you don't outwardly if people know that you got that nerdy thing, then you get put in a box back in those days, right?
Right.
So a lot of us kind of kept that hidden, just to be safe. But when it came out, and we was pretty proud of what the deal was. But we decided to produce a book at 19 years old, ash can size little previews they used to do back in the day.
Right.
And that did very, very well. Like, I think we printed 100 and sold out. And we
Wow.
were doing the hustle. You know how they did mixtapes where I was coming from. You get the mixtapes, you sell out the back of your car or whatever. We was doing that kind of stuff. We would take the little
Disco. Yeah,
book,
I feel you. That's how it is.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
This particular generation, that was the hustle, right? We
Right.
didn't wait for people or whatever. We would drive to comic shops. That's how I got to know so many comic shops growing up.
Yeah.
Hey, here's some copies, put this in there. You could buy them from us at, a discounted price, or just drop them in there just to get our name out there. So that's how we started at 19. And then, life happens. I still always wanted to do it. I did reviews. I sent my work out. I submitted to Marvel, DC, and Image in 1992. As a matter of fact, I want to say some of the stuff that I had sent out, I didn't get into. I think Image had Homage or Wildstorm then.
Yeah.
Was it Wildstorm? No, it was Homage first, I think.
Homage first.
And yeah,
Well,
and that was Jim Lee's group.
Homage was Humberto Ramos.
Nope. Well,
Because that's where
that was Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. Yeah, Cliffhanger.
That was Cliffhanger. They didn't come till later.
Right.
But
You're
when
right.
they started their studios, when Image started their studios, Liefeld had his, and Jim Lee had his, and all that. So they did the talent search, and that's how they.
Yeah.
I was in the same group when they found J. Scott Campbell,
Gotcha.
but I wasn't picked. So it was all good. But I remember telling a story about Jim Lee and telling him that stuff when I happened to. He walked by me. I think I was in line to get a review at Marvel, but he had already moved on. But he saw I had these Black Panther pages that these samples I had done. I think was I 20 years old? I can't remember, but whatever it was, he was like, "This is good." Right. And he was busy, walked by, but he let me know that was good. And I was like, holy crap. And the people behind me was like, that was Jim Lee. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a big cosign.
Right. And that was back in the day. But anyway, like it wasn't until 2007 that I broke in at Marvel. I had sent stuff in and got, oh, you got to work on this, you got to do this. But all the while I was doing stuff for independent stuff. I think I broke in at Image in 2003.
Mm-hmm.
With Jay Ferber and was doing Noble Causes, and I did a sample for him, and me and Jay since have been pretty tight. So I did backup stories, the whole thing. But yeah, I learned a lot from Jay during that time. Ended up corresponding with Eric Larson because I was pitching my stories all the time. But yeah, I'm actually going to release a story today on my Substack, studioskytiger.com, that tells a little bit about that background. So what happened from that, because it is the origin, it is the seedlings of the origin of Midnight Tiger. So anyway, that's my origin story. What I'm known for right now is Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Yeah.
Star Wars Dr. Aphra. And but in between, I've done all kind of stuff.
Right.
I've been the person that they would go to do fill-in issues. So
Right. Okay. So you already hit on something that I was going to talk about. Like, what was it like having this love of art and comics and illustrated growing up in that Compton area? Like you alluded to, we kind of had to keep that under wraps for safety because, believe me, man, I know people are during those junior high school ages, man, people can be real mean, people can be real rude.
they
And
can.
I was at that time, I was writing raps and making rap music, and I had a CD printed up, and I was out of my car as well, going to different.
See,
It's
you
gonna be
know the
crazy,
story. You
man.
know what's
Record
up.
shops and CD shops, Sam Goody, and all the other ones. Going there, sell. Hey, let me buy 10, or let me put 10 in the store. They've got a barcode
Yes.
on them. Do your thing, and I'll come by and pick it up.
Yep.
So, what was it like? Can you talk more about having that creative, artistic bug in Compton?
So okay, so my true coming of age, I would say, really started in, let's call it, '84. So I was definitely about 10 years old. And growing up in Compton, where I was at during that time, for at least 10 years straight, the '80s, the '90s, whatever. Drugs was a big deal. Gangs was, the big deal. I mean, uh, I went to Compton High School. I
Oh
was
yeah.
part of the Compton School District. And I mean, hey, the stories. All you got to do is listen to a single NWA,
Hmm.
album or whatever. You know what's going on in these streets.
Yeah.
Like that was the daily life we lived. And it was a lot of pain, a lot of blood, a lot of sorrow. People feeling a certain kind of way, just living, you know, in this area, right?
Right.
Now the thing is, my family wasn't untouched. We had an inordinate amount of that life touch us on my mother's side of the family.
Gotcha.
So drugs and gangs and violence and all that kind of stuff. That was a big deal. On my father's side, though, it was the exact opposite.
Right.
Like my pops was like Sam Wilson. You know what I'm saying? My pops was like Black Captain America. He believed in the thing. He had an honor code. Everybody looked up to him. This is a whole thing, right? He's a person who put me on the path that violence doesn't solve everything.
Right. He was
So I had
Lawrence
this.
Fishburne and
Yes,
yeah, and what you call it?
exactly. He
Lawrence
was
Fish-
he was he was Larry Fishburne. Don't call me Larry. No,
Yeah.
he was Lawrence Fishburne in Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood
Yeah.
is real life for me.
Right.
I recently went back and watched it. I was like, yeah, this is
Kind of
true to
eerie.
form.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
was. Um, so he put me on that path. But here's the thing: in my heart, I always tell people, I was like, growing up in Compton, like the during that time, hardness was a way of life,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you needed to be tough, to put it in the simplest of terms.
Yeah.
You needed to be tough just to walk the street,
Right.
right? Like if you smiled, that was a sense of softness,
Yeah.
right? There's just words they use, that called you whatever you need to be called. So you kind of had this thing. I don't know. I just was off to myself, and when I found people that felt similarly, I would gravitate towards those people
Right.
because we had to do this thing. Um, and when I saw somebody reading a comic, that was like, oh, well, this is one of my people. Now my cousin read comics. Now this is the uh paradox or oxymoron or whatever you want to call it about growing up in the hood. My cousin was pretty hardcore guy. I mean, he was kind and soft to his family, everything, but out in the street, he was a tough kid.
Yeah.
But he came home, he was an artist, and he loved comics. I kept finding that theme where it was some of the hardest gangsters I knew. If I had something comic related or whatever, that was like, oh man, what you know about that joint right there, And so that actually, I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
this could be my out. We're not
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
but like my bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
Because if people knew you like that kind of stuff and it wasn't necessarily the currency of the
Right.
street, that would do it. Now, it didn't work all the time because some people was like, that's nerd
Yeah.
stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so once I figured that out and I
Yeah.
had something and I could draw, because the other thing is if you could draw, if you had a talent, people would also uplift you and try to protect you. This guy has a talent also.
Right.
So I had those two things, and the group and my cousin, every interview I say this. I know people are tired of hearing me say it, but it means so much. He said, comics saved our lives because we were either inside reading comics, going to the library. I spent most of my time at the library. And I was an introvert. Like my world was I would read other books too. I was into Stephen King. I was,
Right.
reading adventure books. Oh yeah, I was all over the place to just soak up all the knowledge I could by myself. And that is what fueled me. That is where a kid like me from Compton is, I'm setting a pace, paving my own way on my own, and seeing that there was a level of respect to a certain degree of
Yeah.
what I was doing. Right. I mean, it didn't hurt that a lot of my family was, let's just say, some of the hardest people in them Compton streets.
Right.
But but aside from that, on my own, and I separated myself, and they made sure to separate me
Right. And
because I was different.
yeah, and that was definitely something that I could say I also did. I grew up not in Compton, Daytona Beach, Florida, and unfortunately,
Hey,
Florida, we had our share of not gangs but drugs, and that was the thing. And I did not want to be part of that. I loved playing basketball. My thing was basketball and music. I was either playing basketball or I was writing music, performing on stage. I was doing something.
that's
Um,
awesome.
so being able to find that niche not only helped me so I wouldn't have to worry about what was happening in the streets, but it helped me focus my attention on those other things as well.
Yeah,
So
I mean, for me, like yours is music and basketball. Mine was comics and martial arts.
yeah,
So, and martial, I tell people that I said, I was at one point a martial arts scavenger because I didn't learn, because my parents didn't have a lot of money, so they didn't have money to spend. Like, so my first foray into it was like I would read these books I would get from the library. Then I ended up going to the YMCA, and the first style that I learned was a form of Shotokan karate called Eyes of the Hawk, and I would walk for 2 or 3 miles just to get to the YMCA just so I can go to class.
wow,
Um, so that, but I learned because I got jumped. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't learn because I was fascinated by martial arts, but I really put effort into learning because I needed to protect myself and my
right,
family. I can't count on my family or people to protect me.
yeah,
Um, and then I didn't realize how much I fell in love with it.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Something
but
out
money
of
is
this-
money. So
Yeah, something you were doing out of necessity actually came to be a love of you. Something that you love.
yes,
And I'm glad we're for the most part in a better position because, you know, as an educator, I don't want any of my kids or any of my students or even my own two children to have to live in that type of society. And I'm hoping that this interview can inspire other people who look like you, who are interested, who are in communities who say, hey, you know what, I can put forth because I can tell you, man, and as you already know, the nerdy techie type that culture is completely changed nowadays, right?
yes.
Everybody's got
Now it is the thing that people want.
now it's the thing people want.
That's respect now, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. I agree, man. I love it too. So, what was your first work, say, for Image and then Marvel?
My first work for Image
First, 2000.
was, it may have been 2003.
Okay.
Uh, and it was Noble Causes, Distant Relatives.
Oh, I think I have that one.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people, when I was in North Carolina
I
for
have
Heroes Con,
that one.
somebody actually brought it up for me to sign. And I don't see a lot of them. Um, but it reminded me of something a friend of mine, well, he became friends, he was a fan first, and he said, "You are an artist that I bet everybody has their work, but don't know who you are."
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree with that because until you posted those pictures of Miles Morales, I was like, wait a minute. Because I'm in Black Comic Lores, and that's where I saw the pages. I was like, wait,
Hey, that's right, you are.
yeah, I was like, wait a minute. And I sent you a message like, wait, is this your art? And you were like, yeah,
Yes.
that's my art. I said, check your PM. Let me that I did. I had your art. And then it was like I was talking to I think it was Rodney Barnes, and we're gonna get into your Luke Cage, Rodney Barnes,
Oh.
and mention how do we get on Luke Cage? Something about Luke Cage, but he's writing that book. Am I
Is Ronnie's writing it now? Right?
now?
That's
He's
right.
writing it now, right? But we got on it somehow, and I was like, and then I was looking, I was like, wait, he also did Luke Cage, and I got that book. So you're absolutely right. You would be that fill-in artist that kept the progress, the book moving, and the art was still really good, and people were like, oh,
Yes,
like
that was
this,
me.
and nobody fell off or was the wiser. They didn't complain because sometimes
Yes.
you get the art and the art is like, sure, like, okay, I get the artist and what the artist is doing, but it doesn't fit this project or this book. Not that the art,
I was literally telling people I was given straight class at North Carolina at Heroes. I said that was by design
yeah,
because I knew my role. You got to play your role, right?
yeah,
Until I got hip to the game on some other stuff, and I'll tell you about that in a second.
yeah.
But first of all, are we live or not live?
No, we're not live.
This
We're,
is just
we're
recording.
recording.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Because I'm getting blown up right now on my phone. And I was like, when this interview is over, I gotta see who's hitting me up.
I know.
Uh,
So
because I was like, am I saying something? Somebody want me to say something? But anyway, I was telling people, I said, that's by design. I was never, the only thing I was hired to launch was the book Superb, and my man Joe Illidge is the one who gave me that opportunity, and I'll come back to that in a second. But when I was getting these jobs at Marvel, it was either a one-off or to fill in or whatever. And I'm I would say one of the few artists that was working like that, who for the most part could adjust his style on a whim,
right,
right? And I was only able to do that because I loved animation.
right,
Because that is the thing about animation, like you have to stay on model. Although I had liberties in comics where I could have a little expression for myself,
right.
um, but I was somebody who they could have to do a book and it would be like, yeah, it's a little artist, but this kind of match, so you can't see where one thing ended and one thing began or whatever. Um, and that was cool. That was really, really cool. So yeah, so that's what I did. I jumped in there and I try to, get in there and make it so I wouldn't be the thing I was seeing reviews call. They got this new artist, and the new
Right.
artist is like,
Because that was the
right?
big thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
the sales didn't fall off.
Sometimes they went up, but I'm not gonna say nothing.
But you should. First Marvel work, what was it? So we got Noble Causes.
My very first Marvel work was Spider-Man Family number 8.
Spider-Man Family number 8. Okay.
It's in a corner. I don't know if people can see it, but it's on my wall. My
Yeah, we
my
can get
beautiful
into that.
mother-in-law got it framed with my check.
How much was the check for? If you don't mind.
Uh, it was half, so like 2,500, something like that.
Okay. That's not bad.
No,
So
it's not bad. Like that's half. If I was doing a book, let's say every 5 weeks, that's $5,000 a week, a month ish,
yeah.
right? But I don't know if you know this, but comics is hard.
Oh yeah.
Comics is hard to do, and especially on a monthly basis. That's why I respect people like John Romita Jr. because he's like, my style is a style of necessity. He's like, this is my deadline style, and he could go in there, he could noodle and do all sorts of kind of stuff if he really wanted to. you know, but he's trying to get books done. He's trying, as long as his storytelling is there, he
Yeah.
just boom, 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 and gets it done. Like the cat
Yeah.
was doing 2 books, a month
Yeah.
regularly, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, very few people in the history of
Could do
comics
that.
were able to.
Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly. What was your so far either Marvel? We're going to get to DC because you said you just started doing some DC work. What was
Yeah.
what was one of your favorite projects in Image or at Image, and one of your favorite projects at Marvel so far?
Um, okay, that's a tough question, but it's also easy. Let's take Marvel for instance. I would say that Star Wars Dr. Aphra is my favorite overall.
Okay.
It's my favorite project, and it came at the worst time in my life, but I had the best people that I was working with.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was the crazy thing about it. And I'm not saying that they didn't add to my love of that time, but I worked with Alyssa Wong, who is freaking brilliant, just brilliant, and writes the kind of characters that I could see it and I could watch them. So when I am drawing a book and I read the script, I know the script is perfect for me when I can see the animation, because I think in
Gotcha.
animation, when I can
Gotcha.
see the scenes in my head
Right.
and I can see the characters move and they talk to me and all these different things.
Right.
That
Right.
is what was happening on Dr. Aphra.
Okay.
But right below that was, I would say, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Okay. People love that one. Listen, my students
Yes.
class checked that out from the library a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Shout out to that crew, because that is another crew that I adored working with. They're just wonderful, wonderful colleagues. Some of them have become lifelong friends, and I mean, even after Marvel. And they would bring me in because I was essentially the pinch hitter for uh, Natasha Bustos, who was the main artist, and
Mhm.
Nat, a brilliant artist.
Yeah.
I learned a lot, working with Nat and Amy and Brandon and Mark Panicia and Chris Robinson. Tamara Bonvillain is one of the best colorists
Right.
out there. Like, it was just a great, great, great experience. But I would be the guy that they would get for the big major 616 characters that would pop up, right?
Gotcha.
Because here's Moon Girl, who is the smartest person in the Marvel Universe, and her interaction with the luminaries of the Marvel Universe. Depending on who it was, if it was like quintessential superhero stuff, they would be like, all right, Ray, it's your turn.
Go-to guy.
Right? I must have done about 5 or 6 issues. And so I got to do Moon Girl meets Ben Grimm. This was my first book,
Right.
right? My first book with them, Moon Girl meets Ben Grimm, and then there was a big, as my buddy Kevin Greaves would say, Donnybrook, with Cho Hulk and Ben Grimm. So I got to do a Hulk thing fight.
And wow, that's big.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because of Black Comic Lords, I jumped on that book. I started putting
Ah,
myself collection together because people were getting into it. And I usually stay away from the younger kids' books. And that it looked like one of the younger kids' books to me, right?
right.
It really does. But same thing like what was it? The Marvel All Ages, I think it was. It
I worked on that too.
came off like a Marvel All Ages book. I was like, okay, I didn't get into it until there were some folks, collectors in Black Comic Lords, and they were like, man, I'm really digging that book. And I had looked at it, like, I don't really get it. And then I picked up a few issues, like, oh, okay. I don't know. There were random issues I picked up. I was like, okay, they're okay. And then
Right.
it's every so often it kept coming back around. People are like, man, you got to grab this book.
Oh yeah, they upped the ante on it.
They did. And so I just started picking up, even currently, I'm still picking up as many as I can to put a run together so I can go through the whole process and read it. But it is very alluring, definitely to younger kids, because like I said, My students, they check it out from the library all the time. I mean, that book, and we have
Yes.
series, we even have the hardback. It's heavily gets checked out. So the kids are constantly reading. Even I buy copies and put into my prize box so kids can get on their way out.
That's where it shines, because the floppy sales were, you know, I mean, had it been without the stuff that was in the library and the graphic novels and stuff and the trades, it was at a level where numbers wise would have been canceled by Marvel as far as floppies were concerned. But the trades though was
So
killing it.
like hotcakes,
Yes,
they were everywhere. I'm not even
they were
joking.
everywhere. It was killing it. So because people were like, well, you know, it's always somebody online got some complaints. They're like, well, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur doesn't do good numbers, but they keep that book is all past in the 30s. Was that during that time? In the 30s and the 40s.
Right.
And then it's like, but what you don't know, right? What you don't know is killing it someplace else,
Right.
right? Like, you know, you don't know. Comics is in so many spaces these days, and really deserves to be in more spaces. But that's a
Right.
problem for another day. That it does great in one space and maybe not so great in the other space.
Right.
So, but yeah, like I'm so glad that you're doing that for your students and everything. That is where we shine. That is where comics should be. It's for everyone. Comics are for everyone. So
Yeah.
yeah, it should definitely be in that space.
Favorite image project so far?
Oh, you know, I actually haven't done a lot of image, mostly again working with Jay.
Hmm.
Um, favorite image project. It would probably be maybe the Noble Cause's 25th anniversary.
Okay.
Um, or it was an anniversary issue, I know for sure, or something like that. It was a big one.
Got it.
A bunch of people. I would say that Jay always had an eye on some of the top talent. Like he was one of those people who would pick artists who, and I'm not trying to, you know, it's not braggadocious or whatever it is, but it's just a
Right.
fact. He would he would pick artists that at some point in their career would be in the top. So Mahmoud Asrar, him and Mahmoud worked on Dynamo 5. Mahmoud is now
I know that.
X-Men, you know, Conan, like
Yeah.
he's a big deal. Ildure Sinar, me, Kari Randolph, he
Yeah.
did some work,
Yes. It's
right?
Sanar. He did
Um,
Fire.
yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
it's a bunch of stuff that like you get a guy and it's like, oh, this person's got whatever it is, so he's gonna work with these people, and the list goes on, you know. Um, but yeah, like that. I would say that. But right now, I did a cover for a book that's coming out called, or it's out now, called Rifters, and right now that's probably my favorite.
It
But
hasn't come out
I
yet.
would say all the work I did with Jay is great. So they're
Right.
that.
But Rifters hasn't come out yet.
Rifters number 1 is out. Rifters number 2
Oh,
comes
it is
out in
out.
July,
Okay.
and I did a cover for that. And if people know of a certain age, I did kind of a homage to the old show F Troop.
Okay.
So you have to look that up to see what that is,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And that book is funny. It is like a wacky time travel buddy cop thing.
Right.
Um, yeah, I mean, when I was doing all that stuff and I get these jobs and, you know, we need you to do this fill in, it sometimes it's a few pages, sometimes it's a whole issue, depending on what it is. Um, you know, I look and see what the art style was like, who the
Hmm.
regular artist was, and also knowing the audience. The audience doesn't want any hiccups,
Right.
right? They don't want to be taken out of the story they've been reading this whole time. Um, and you know, I don't match styles exactly the same. So it's not like, oh, I
Hmm.
don't know that there's a change. But hopefully the change is pleasant enough that you can go on and not be taken out of the story too much.
Gotcha. So if we talk about your Miles Morales work, Miles Morales, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
had anybody in a million years when Brian Michael Bendis was getting all this hate for creating this character, Uh, did anybody in a million years expect it to blow up and explode with popularity as this character has? How does that
I
make
don't
you
think they
feel
did.
knowing you've worked on this character and I mean, you've done this character beautifully. Let's be very clear, everybody. If you have not
Thank you.
picked up, if you have not picked up his Miles Morales run or any of his Miles Morales Spider-Man books, you definitely need to go and pick it up. And part of this is getting people to know who you are so they will pick up yourself, so they will get it signed. How does it feel being part of such an amazing character? Like clearly he's at this point the best newest character in what, 20 years? Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
I would say, yeah, easily. The last 20 years, for sure. He's probably one of the most popular. I would say him, Spider-Gwen,
Yeah.
um, a lot of stuff in the Spider-Man multiverse is a
Yeah.
big deal. And right now, Deadpool, who's been around longer, but
Yeah, but he's been
they're the
around longer.
biggest new, yeah, they're the biggest new characters. Oh wait, least we forget Miss Marvel.
Yes. But
Miss Marvel is pretty big.
she's pretty big, don't get me wrong, but I am still not at this point, I still don't have her at the level of where Miles is. She's there.
Well, you can thank Sony for that, though.
Yes.
Sony.
No, listen. Listen. No. I'm not going to go down that road.
Look, I'm ready too. I'm ready to
I had
go
this
down that
debate
road.
with friends. I had this debate with people that I do not know. I've looked at this Miss Marvel movie, the Miss Marvel franchise, the Miss Marvel TV series. A friend of mine said, do you think our fragile male egos we were talking about something, is an issue to where we can view, and we were talking about something else anyway. We were talking about, I think, Star Wars, the new Acolyte, when they were talking about how horrible it is. But he asked me a question, do you think our fragile male egos are getting in the way of us viewing this thing? Yeah, I do.
I agree.
I do. I think, and when he asked me that question, I was like, no, I kind of want your wife's opinion. But in the reality, yeah, I think that when Captain Marvel came out and what's the young lady who played Carol Danvers, the actress, her, anyway, I can't think of it. It'll come to me. When she was like
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson, thank you. When Brie Larson was like, I don't really care about what a bunch of white men think. Let me talk to these women reporters, because Captain Marvel, amongst my female collectors and female friends and cosplayers and students, and even my own two children, she rocks.
Yes.
She rocks.
It sounds like you and I are on the same page then. So you're talking to somebody who spent a couple of years working on, Moon Girl. So
right.
You know what I mean? It's the same energy. So I thought when I saw Miss Marvel hit the scene at Comics Wise, I knew then it was going to be pretty big. And I'm glad it got to the level that it got to.
Yeah. And being written by a Muslim writer.
As it should be.
As it should be.
So here's my thing about it. You have to have someone, and I credit Joe for this because he's so right, such a smart guy. When you have someone of the culture, start the fire, create it, the whole thing. What people do after, that's fine. Doesn't matter who comes after, but the person that's of the culture needs to create it.
Right.
They need to be in the mix.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So that's where I'm at with it. It's not that Black people can't write white characters, or white people can't write Black characters. I think that they can, based on the view that they have.
Right.
But if you are in the creation of a thing,
right,
being of the culture or knowing the culture itself, and that means Black culture, female culture, LGBTQ culture, all of these things, it has to be created here. We create the ball and then we pass the ball to you so you can run with it. But everybody knows that all the things that make up the component of this character, was
Hmm.
created by somebody who is steeped in the culture.
Right.
And
So,
that's it.
so are you? Because I hear you. You got a little political side. You got a little stand side.
Oh yeah,
Are
I
you?
try to keep that.
No,
I
no, no.
try to
Listen,
keep
listen.
that
You're in the wrong
inside.
spot, man. Let that out because you should watch my Eric Larson interview and we talk about these things. We talk about like, people don't really know what the word woke mean. They're using it all wrong. But when
Yeah.
you're doing Luke Cage, he's the mayor of New York. Are you infusing
Now he
into
is, yes.
it? Say what?
And now he is, yeah.
Yeah. Are you infusing that into your Luke Cage art pages? Are you infusing the culture into the Miles Morales pages? Are you infusing that into the Moon Girl pages?
Yes, yes, mostly. Okay. I'm gonna break it down percentage wise. Depending on the character, and I'm going to give you a uh uh I forget the word, but essentially a disclaimer. I'm gonna give you a disclaimer first. I am someone who feels like I don't enjoy being typecast, where I can only write and draw black characters, and that's all you
Gotcha.
hire me to do.
Right.
I can do more than that. And if you are going to hire me to do a black character, make sure, because we are, I hate to say this cliche, but it can't be more true. We are a diaspora.
Yeah.
So my upbringing is, I don't know how much of it would contribute to T'Challa,
Right.
right?
Right.
I have more in common with uh, Dwayne Turner,
Yes.
right? So this is me. I have more in common with that. Street level characters who are, I mean, toot my own horn, whatever, who are intelligent with a strong moral compass,
Mm.
and who, you know what I'm saying?
So I'm about to go there. So does that mean like
Go there.
so does that mean let's take I know you said you're getting to do some DC stuff and I got some ideas for you. But
Oh, I
let's
love
just
it.
take
Okay.
the Batman universe because the minute you said street level intelligent, the Batman universe came up, right? Let's take the
Yeah, of
Batman
course.
universe. Could you kill some Batman art
Yeah, of course.
because you're coming from that level of thinking?
Let me tell you, and again, I keep going to this because me and this dude, we intermingle, right? We're one of those things where um together we share so much of the same mentality. We might go about things a little different, but when we come home, it's very much the similar mentality. So me and Joe Illich, do you remember the crossover No Man's Land with
Yes, for
Batman?
Batman. Yes, that was a great crossover.
Joe Illich was one of the editors on that, and we used to talk about that thing. It's one of my favorite crossovers or storylines or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And it is one of those things where, for me, you know, and my idea or my angle from it is, here's a place where there's really, it's the Batman family.
Right.
Where's Batman in all of this? So they come together and they do this thing, and you get to see the relationships between his adopted children and his legacy, and how they feel about him, how they feel about Gotham, the things they're doing in their own world, all these different things, and they're coming at it at a different angle. Me personally, my wife was being my wife talk about modesty or whatever. I'm naturally more a modest person, but it's like, you got to come out of that. You are good at the things you're good at. You know that you're good at them. There's no need to be modest,
Yeah.
because the people who know you're good at them. I think I would kill it on a Robin story, especially a Tim Drake or
Yeah.
somebody like that. Like,
Yeah.
I would kill it on that. I don't like Damien, but that's for good reason, because he's written that way.
Right.
He's written not to be likable.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's
Right?
written to be
And
a
that's why I think it's great
brat that
writing.
nobody can stop.
I love Cassandra Cain, Batgirl. Right? I think I would do great with that. The dream at one point was to do Nightwing for me.
Wow.
Yeah, that was the dream, right? But what's greater than that dream? They already have these different versions of, like, the black version of Batman. I would never have gone the way that they went.
Really?
if I had an opportunity to create a black Batman, which I ended up doing, that's essentially what my original pitch for Midnight Tiger was. When people ask me, what is Midnight Tiger? I said, imagine teenage Spider-Man in Gotham.
Gotcha.
So I'm doing that.
Right.
Right. Can the city turn someone who has a good heart into a spirit of vengeance?
That's a good one. We
right. That's the heart of what Midnight Tiger is.
Right. So listen carefully, viewers. You just heard the pitch. You need to go pick up every single back issue you can find of Midnight Tiger. Plus, you got what?
The hardcover is out. The hardcover is going to be out. Come to my table.
Coming out. When is
the
hardcover coming out?
Publishing. Yeah.
When is the hardcover coming out?
Hold up. I'll show you right now. Where is it at? Bam.
Ooh, look at that sweetness. Look at that sweetness.
Yep.
Everybody, please make sure you go pick up Midnight Tiger.
Yep. So this is what it is, you guys. Like, it is,
Yeah.
So this is telling the story of a young man who gets an opportunity to save his city. So going back to like killing the Batman story, I'm doing the Batman story I want to do.
Right.
But DC knocked on my door. I already told him the things I want to do. I've actually had a conversation with Jim Lee about what I wanted to do over at DC.
Right.
And let's say those talks, he did what he could, but those talks didn't go the way I would have wanted them to go. It's fine. I still love DC. Like I love Marvel,
Yeah.
But my other one is Mr. Terrific. I would kill on a Mr. Terrific.
Look at here. Slow it down, man. Slow it down. Look at here.
Yeah.
Everybody, if y'all don't go pick up Midnight Tiger, because I know I need to. I'm gonna be running because I'm the dollar bin champ, man. So I'm gonna go scour these bins, try to find as many floppies as I can. Y'all better make sure y'all do. You better build up.
And I will sign them. Bring them to me.
You better build up your collection. So you already went into something I was going to get into, your dream job. So you already said you would kill a Robin, Cassandra. You'd go completely different with a Mr. What's his name? Fox? Forgot what's his first name. Lucius Fox's son, who was Batman.
Lucius's son. What's his name?
Lucius's son. I can't think.
Yeah.
I actually like
Luke Fox.
Luke Fox. I actually like the first Nightwing. I'm sorry, the first Batwing when it was in Africa. I really liked it. Don't get me wrong. I like Luke Fox.
You know what? I like what they were doing with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If we go there, I like what they were doing with that. But you know who I would take over? Even though let me tell you something. I love me some Cully Hamner because when he did the design for the Signal.
Okay, I was just about to go there, man. I was just about to go there.
Cully killed it on that. Now that one I might tweak, but I wouldn't change too much.
Yeah.
But then I would just straight up do a Signal, little mini series because I don't want to commit to a full series. I would commit to 6 issues or something like that.
I was thinking about that because I have to tell you, man, the Signal is probably one of my favorite new characters. I like the power.
Yeah, mine too.
I like the power. I like the fact that he's willing to listen, but push the envelope. He's not 100% following what Batman thinks. I like the issues that he's fallen into where he's gone into the team and then they're like, well, I'm gonna have to break away from the team because this is a better thing to do. I like the issues that I've seen him in so far. So yeah, I would definitely say the Signal. I would love to see you on the Signal.
All I'm saying is when this interview hits and the people that's watching, why don't y'all hit up DC? If you want me to come back to mainstream comics, put me on the Signal for sure. That would be number one. Or Mr. Terrific at DC, one of those two, right? I have my choices at Marvel too, but we'll see.
But I'm going to tell you because as Black Comic Lords, we are into our indie Black comics. We want
that, and that's what I love. This is what I love. That's why. Why do you think I segued into Midnight?
That's where I was going.
Right? You see, I didn't put no picture up on the Signal.
Right. So,
right.
So, are you involved in Epiphany Engine by any chance?
So that's where I'm going. I was going to lead us there.
Good, because I was going to take us there. We're going to hold on. Pause for a minute. So you gave me dream project for DC. dream
Yes.
project for Marvel before we jump into Epiphany Engine?
Okay, so dream project for Marvel, I thought it up, and Marvel apparently either A, already had the exact same idea as me, or
Mhm.
B, certain people was listening to what I was saying online. That's my bad because I posted it publicly about a mutant team of POCs that go and investigate hate crimes.
Mm. Yeah.
I talked about it and I named the people on the team.
Right.
They did it, and almost all the people I named was on the team.
What was the
I'm
book?
not. I can't remember what the name of the book was, but just look it up. Sync is a part of it. So when they brought him back, he was a part of it.
The X-Men Sync.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I talked about this before Krakoa.
Okay.
So you tell me.
So that means all of this is going to appear in your book. We're gonna still get
Maybe in
this.
some way, shape, or form. I got to build the universe first. The universe I have is huge. So um,
we
because
we
I
gonna need to
haven't.
hook up, man, because I got a bunch of ideas. Listen. I am the idea man. I could write and write for days.
Let me tell you, I have so many people. I have all these friends, writers and stuff. And let me tell you, these guys give me the game.
Yeah.
I got the game 20 years ago from Dennis Cowan and Dwayne McDuffie. I
Yeah.
got the game
Yeah.
from them and understood. Like, it made me look at comics in a different light, right? It really, really did. It changed the way I went about things, and I really try to build my career and build my name and stuff like that. But always in the back of my mind,
Yeah.
it was like, you got to do your thing.
Yeah.
You got to put your own characters out there. You got to put, us out there, the
Right.
representation. It's great. There's going to be another 20, 30 artists that's drawing Spider-Man, that's drawing Thor, that's
Right.
drawing,
Right.
Batman, Superman. But it's only going to be one you doing your thing.
Yeah. That's good
So,
that you said that. Dennis Cowan, Dwayne McDuffie. I had an idea for. I don't know if you remember the milestone book Heroes. It was a 6 issue
yes, I
small issue.
definitely remember.
I had a really good idea for the Heroes that
Oh, I
book.
mean, it was a good book.
It was a good book. It was a good team book, but I also
Yeah.
felt like this is a good team book that we could really grow. Like, not only are they good individual characters
Yeah.
together, but the learning path and the building of the team, and because it was a fresh team and all this whole universe is forming, you had a really good story for Heroes, man. Now, I would have Heroes, including probably one of my favorite milestone characters, Iron Butterfly.
Oh, okay. There we
Iron,
go. Slept on.
yeah,
Slept
Iron
on. But yeah,
So
no doubt.
you're built so cool. Epiphany Engine. Go.
Okay. Epiphany Engine. What questions do you have that I can't answer?
That you can, because I know a lot of it's still a secret. What? Oh my goodness. What part are you playing in this amazing, crazy, creative piece of history, man? This is a piece of history that we're doing. That you guys are doing. This is a piece of history.
I'm gonna tell you this. We're all a part of it because if you are beating the drum for it, if you are pledging to it, you are also a part of history.
Yeah.
Right? So, hey, I mean, that's what it's really about. This has never been done before at this scale. There
Yeah.
have been crossovers and all that kind of thing, which is fantastic. But you got all of these Black-owned independent comics and comic companies, comic characters, the whole. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It truly is. It's incredible. And, I remember when I was approached, and I use this often. I said, this idea of essentially a rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah. Yeah.
There are characters that have been on it for years, and they have their fan base, but this could grow their fan base.
Right.
This
It's,
could definitely grow their fan base. And it is Black comic luminaries
yeah.
that are a part of this. That are trying to. We're all coming together to do this thing with one voice. If we're doing it well,
Right.
it's one voice for the community, and
Yeah.
it's for us. It's like FUBU, for us, by us.
Yeah.
But it really is for us or it's by us for the world.
For the world, right? This isn't that
For
we're
the
not
world.
holding this. We're saying, hey, look at what has been going on your whole collecting life that you've been over. Rising Tide Lifts All Boats, Beyonce's
Yes.
Western album.
Ah,
Let me tell you.
okay.
Please tell me you've been listening to the people who are featured on her album. Tanner Adele, Rain Robinson.
I've only heard a few. I mean, you know, I've only heard a few, but I know
I'm
what's
just
happening.
things, man. I'm gonna send you some things. I'm gonna send you
Please do.
because I really,
I'm a music person. Like I listen to music. You know, I listen to music while I work.
yeah. I'm gonna
It
send
sets the
you.
mood. So
I think I sent you a link to my music, didn't I not? I sent it to you.
you might have. You might have sent it via Facebook, right?
Via Facebook. I sent it via Facebook. When you get a listen, take a look. 2 new songs I released. So what she did was,
Is it on your site? Is it on your YouTube?
it is on my YouTube. Yes, it's the one
Okay.
with
Yes.
the Mansa Musa. It's got Cool Tie under it.
Yes. That's
Yes,
it.
those are the 2 new ones.
Okay.
Uh,
Cool.
what she did was she took artists, and I don't like to say it this way, but the reality of it is she did it. Caitlin Clark is doing it. Angel Reese is doing it. Did I go too far with that? But I'm gonna be very
No, you did not. I think it's apropos.
these, and it's great that they're women. It's great that they're
Yeah.
women of color. These women have shined a light on something that has not had the light, which is very similar to what Epiphany Engine is going to do. I have always listened to some form of country music, whether it's Randy Travis.
I grew up on it.
I love certain parts of country music where I can feel that soul in it, and it does have it. You know, I'm a big Reba McEntire fan.
Yeah.
When she did that album, and we're talking about Epiphany Engine, you gave that analogy. That's exactly what's going to happen because, you know,
Yeah.
there are people that are out scouring the Brother Man, Mega Man. They're
Yes.
scouring, trying to find these issues. So am I. Have a piece of this puzzle so they can put it all together.
Yeah,
You
for
know?
sure. As it should though. I mean, because we've been doing this for a minute.
Yeah.
You know, we've been doing this for a minute, and at a high level. At a high level, I mean, you know, just think about one name, and I'm not even gonna go to the top. I'm gonna go to Tribe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Have we seen? We haven't seen anything in Black comics like Tribe only recently, and I'm gonna name 2 books: Bitterroot
Yep.
and Excellence.
Excellence. I knew it. Yeah. Listen, I'm going to name another name because he and I have become friends over the years. I am locking his interview in, but he's just gotten busy, gotten more popular. The great Ron Wilson.
Oh yes,
Wait till you see what's coming.
yes.
Wait till you see what's coming. That interview is going to be banging. That interview might be 2 hours long, man.
It should be. Let me tell you. I'm okay. Ron was in North Carolina at Heroes.
Yeah.
I was around the corner from him.
Just 2024.
Now Pete Gang. I was incredibly, and who was in front of me was Jose Luis Garcia Lopez.
Oh, love that dude.
Kevin Nolan, and Paul Pelliter. So I was jazzed about seeing Jose Luis, right? Intimidated. When I went up there, the folks I had at my table was like, "You were fangirling." And I was.
Yeah.
But what they didn't know is that I was even more intimidated to talk to Ron.
Yeah.
Because Ron was on the side. I was like, and people was coming and talking to him. And I was like, man, I want to talk to Ron. But then it was one of those things where the stuff I want to talk about probably would get loud, probably would be maybe a little bit
Happy.
let's say
joyful.
Yeah. I would probably would never come back to my table. And I actually eventually didn't come back. I let my assistants kind of handle it on Sunday.
I'm gonna drop a little dime for you on Ron Wilson, man. You got to finish. You got to catch the interview when I do it, though. Ron Wilson, the second leading cover artist at Marvel ever. There's only one person in front of him, and he's only gotten beaten by, if don't quote me on the number, he's only got him beaten by maybe 20 or 30 covers.
Who's that? Who's the one who got him beat?
Herb Trimpe.
What? I believe it though.
Herb Trimpe.
I believe it.
We're gonna dive into that now. We're gonna dive into that, but yeah, Ron Wilson, dude is a legend.
No, I gotta see this interview.
Yeah, it's coming, man. He is out right now, but next week we're gonna tackle it. Let's go back to Midnight Tiger. Why should people pick Midnight Tiger? How is that? How is Midnight Tiger from your heart playing out into the book to where people are gonna just fall in love with it?
I mentioned it earlier. I am a nerdy black kid from Compton during the height of gangs and drug violence.
Yeah.
But I never let it change me. I learned how to adapt, and anybody that I met, I ended up affecting them with the energy I had.
Yeah.
And I used to wish that I could do that with the entire community so we could stop this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wish that I used to wish it all the time. I used to wish me and my group would go out. Hey, let's read some comics. Hey, let's do some good. You see old lady Johnson's fence over there? Let's go fix her fence.
Yeah.
Let's go do, instead of being on the corner,
yeah,
you know, and doing this, let's go do that instead of this. Because positive energy is just as infectious. All that violence just breeds fear. And we stopped protecting ourselves with kindness. It destroyed the community.
Yeah. That's a great quote. Is Midnight Tiger protecting his community with kindness?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it's for him, there's elements. So I'm a huge anime and manga fan. And one of the shonen heart at the heart of every shonen jump, like cartoon, you know, anime or manga, is friendship, hard work, and perseverance, right?
Yep. Listen, you preach to the choir, man. I tell people this all the time, man, because I love the manga and the anime. I lived in Japan for years after I graduated from college.
That is fantastic. Look, you live in my dream. That was great.
Culture, and it has been absolutely amazing. So you're right, man. The love, even you know, I watched Demon Slayer when it came out. Even the love and the friendship and the camaraderie in Demon Slayer, just it comes through. And for me, when I'm thinking of stories and I'm thinking of heroes, that's what I want to come through, because I want that to get mimicked by the reader.
That's it. So that's what I want. That's why people should read Midnight Tiger. It is, and I don't know, y'all out there, you know, Black comic lords, y'all out there, we consume a lot of manga.
Yeah.
Don't we?
Yeah.
Because there is something about it that speaks to us as Black folks. It speaks to us. It is aspirational, right? Because you get a shonen protagonist. He works hard. He want to be the GOAT.
Yeah.
Right? He want to be the GOAT. The whole theme of Naruto, I am not recognized by my people.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And if I become Hokage,
right,
you have to see me.
You have to see me.
You have to respect me.
Connection, man. That's a good connection. I like that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it my way. I'm not trying to hurt nobody, but I'm going to show you that not only am I one of you, I could be the best of you while you shitting on me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For something you don't even understand.
Right. Did you take Midnight Tiger's design from that anime influence in your life? His outfit? Yes.
So I'm going to end up posting this thing. I meant to post it this morning, but I had so much going on, as you know. But Midnight Tiger comes from, and you'll read more of the story on my Substack. But essentially, Midnight Tiger comes from the shonen and the Night Thrashers, and really this idea. And now I'm revealing the full truth. Some stuff I'm leaving out because other people are involved, but the
we
parts
also
that
want people to go hunt and get the book and enjoy it. We don't want to give too many.
I do, because hey, we got these hardcovers, I gotta sell it, and you're gonna enjoy it, and it is going to speak to the kid who wants to save everybody.
Yeah.
It's going to speak to that, and it's also going to speak to the thing we used to feel as Black kids coming up called, why ain't nobody checking for us?
Yeah.
You know, we call the cops take an hour to get here.
Yeah.
Right? Why ain't nobody trying to save us? Why ain't nobody trying to help us? And Gavin is like, well, bump them fools. I'm gonna do it myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save us, because
Right.
somebody's got to do it.
Right.
Right? He's got a great example in his dad. So it's a father-son relationship. His father, is a fireman, but he quit being a police officer in Apollo Bay because of the corruptness. He knew in that system he couldn't do the things he wanted to do.
Right.
So he quit. And he was like, but I still want to save people. And I still want to instill the idea to be a helpmate to the community in my son. So I'm going to be a fireman. So that's what he decided to do too.
Listen, if you guys out there don't take that pitch as a means to go run and grab this book, y'all better go pick it up. Ray, they can pick this up from you directly, right?
I hope that they do. If they don't pick it up from me when they see me at a show, they can pick it up from CEX Publishing.
Right.
So
can people directly connect with you through your social media accounts to order it through the mail? No doubt.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all go. You got to find Mr. Ray Anthony.
Oh yeah, I'm on all the socials. Type my name in.
Instagram, all of the different social medias. Pick him up. Man, I'm telling you, our time is going by so fast. I want to keep going, but I
know. We've been at it.
I'm gonna stop, because we'll definitely have a part 2 to this interview.
Okay, great.
This is Mr. Ray Anthony Height. Thank you so much for joining us. We didn't even get to all of our Moon Knight, but man, that was an absolute banger of an interview.
Do not forget to pledge. We got, I think, 12 days left on Epiphany Engine.
Yes.
You want to see Midnight Tiger? He is no stranger to crossovers. Him and about 1,000 other POCs are in there, being as heroic as they come.
Yeah. Everybody,
to help the McCauley family out.
Everybody, please make sure you back the Kickstarter of Epiphany Engine. I'll make sure I put the image and the logo and the image and the link and all that stuff. Make sure y'all go there, patronize it, back that project. It is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm looking at these sample pages that they're passing out, and I'm blown away at the art. I think they pulled out all the stops for this, and I am extremely, extremely excited. Mr. Ray Height, thank you so much for joining us. Everybody out there, please make sure you connect with Mr. Ray Height on his social media. Please make sure you pick up his books, whether they're Marvel, DC, or pick up his book, Midnight Tiger. Let's support the brother. Let's make sure we show him our love. We appreciate it. On our next time, we got to talk about some Moon Knight, and we got to talk about some DC stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We got to get.
We can talk about Moon Knight. We can talk about Luke Cage. All that.
So, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
On the way out, thank you again. Please remember, it is voting season, and voting is extremely important. If you are 18 years or you're just becoming a voting age, please put your information down below or find me on any of my platforms. I will communicate with you about why it's important for you to vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for. However, I'm telling you who not to vote for. Don't vote for Trump. However, but I want to be very clear. I do want you to register to vote across the board for your local city and your state. Absolutely, because those people affect your daily life more. But definitely make sure you are registered to vote. Definitely make sure you spend the time to connect with other people and get everybody registered and voting, because it really is extremely important that everybody cast a vote. Your vote is your voice, and it is very important. We are once again Comic Book Hit List. My name is Tyrone Weems, aka Kuntai. This is Mr. Ray Height. Thank you so much for joining us, and we appreciate it. Peace out, and we will see you next time.